Hello explorers, how are you doing? It's been a couple of weeks since I've been live. I've been on midterm break with my children. So it's nice to be back. The assumption that we're looking at today is another NLP assumption that's really useful for us, which is we cannot not communicate. Now think about it. How do you know that this is true? Have you ever had a compliment and thought, is this sincere? Is this genuine? You intuitively know the difference between a genuine compliment and one that's not. So how do you know? What is it that you're picking up and sensing that is beyond the words of the individual, but you're reading something else? So how you know is because you're picking up on more subtle unconscious cues. Another example would be silence speaks volumes. If you think you cannot not communicate and you've chosen to be silent for a reason, think about someone who's trying to provoke a reaction in you and you choose to be silent instead, you're still communicating to them a response. And consider as well another example that supports this assumption of you cannot not communicate. Think about somebody who you know really well. Perhaps they're on the telephone to you and you're picking a subtlety in their tone of voice that tells you, I'm not sure they're exactly 100% okay. I'm going to inquire a little bit more and make sure that they are okay. These are all the subtle things that you have and we have as human beings that are our innate ability to pick up on communication that's beyond words. So how is this useful to you and why is this useful to you? Well, when you understand that you cannot communicate, you cannot not communicate, and that there is so much more in our communication than simply the words that we use, it enables you to become a more influential and effective communicator. It enables you to be a better negotiator, and it allows you to deepen rapport and understanding with individuals, and it helps you reduce conflict and misunderstanding. So, the psychologist Albert, I have to read it because I can never pronounce his name, Merabin, that's not even correct. He says that the information that we pick up is beyond words. It's in the sounds of the words. It's in the listener picking up the emotional content or emotional signature of what's being said. It's about the tone of voice. Another psychologist, Argyle, further supported this by saying that it's also the gestures, the body language, the postures that we use. It is the sound, the volume, the tone of our voice communicates a tremendous amount of information. Our relationship with the person that we're listening to affects what we hear and what we interpret in their communication. So how we communicate, obviously when we send our messages, the other person has to interpret them, and they're interpreting them, hi Lucinda, more than just listening to our words, but paying attention unconsciously to our body language, our voice tone qualities, the context of the conversation, the relationship, and the emotional signature of it. So this leads us to meaning making. This leads us potentially to misunderstanding. So I want you to think about the next time it's really important for you to communicate so effectively, because it's important that you are influential in that situation, whether it's a conversation with a family member, whether it's a conversation in a meeting, whether it's at an interview, wherever you have to be influential in representing yourself, consider you cannot not communicate. This also means that we are leaking our emotional states through our words because we're picking up as listeners the emotions in somebody's statements and conversations. So here are my top tips. This next time that you have to communicate really effectively, consider your state. If you're a bit nervous, a bit anxious, it will come across. So think about managing your state. If you need to, get in touch with a coach like myself. We'll get you the state that you need to be in. The other thing is consider your natural gestures. Are you a pointer? Do you lean in? Do you lean out? What's your body posture like? If you want the person who's listening to you to be relaxed and confident in what you're saying, you must be relaxed and confident too. Make sure your body language is open, relaxed and confident. So the two things are, check how you are, change and adapt that in terms of your voice tone, your body language, your voice, and check how your listener is. How do you want them to receive the information? Do you want them to be calm, confident, relaxed? Do you want them to be enthusiastic and energetic? Have your body language, your voice tone, and your words match all of that. Because if you're only using your words, Argyle said that's only 7% of the meaning of our communication. The rest of the meaning of our communication is non-verbal. It's the sound of our voice. It's our language, the voice tones rather. It is the emotions, the state we're in running behind the words that we're using. So consider the next time you need to be more influential and more effective in your communication, and consider what your postures, your body language, your voice tone is, and make sure they all match the state that you want your listener to be in. So I'll leave you to reflect on that. It's nice to be back. Remember to put any comments in the comments box. Share this with anybody that you want to share it with and you know will benefit from. And if you want to learn more about improving communication beyond my short chats with you, get in touch. Find out about the training courses we offer that enable people to have powerful, positive, congruent communication that gets rid of the unconscious leaking of communication that's ineffective, so that you're totally aligned, totally present, totally connected with your audience, with your listener, whether that's a group of people or an individual. So thanks for watching, thanks for the thumbs up, and I will see you next week. Bye for now. Have a good weekend.